Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, and I wanted to talk about a game I just beat, and that is Persona 3 Reload. If you haven't played the Persona series, the first two are a little archaic, but then 3, 4, and 5 are kind of easier to get into, way more streamlined, and really, really good RPGs. I actually didn't play 5 yet, but I've now beaten 3 and I've beaten 4 Golden on the Vita. So it's sort of an anime looking game if you can't tell by the cover, and you are in this school making friends, and the crux of the game is that every time this dark hour comes within the game, it's very similar to 4. Every time this dark hour comes within the game, you go into this dungeon at night and like the world sort of shuts off except for this dungeon, and you make your way up the levels of the dungeon while finding items and loot and killing monsters with your teammates. But you have to also balance that with your day. So some people won't like this aspect, and it does get a little mundane by the end of the game, but you talk to all your friends and you make relationships, and then you meet people out in the town and have relationships with them. And depending on your relationships and who you talk to and how many times, your social link goes up with those people. And then your, I guess, strength for those like monsters you have, sort of like they're these cards that turn into like these demons that you can summon, or angels or whatever, to kill people, to kill monsters. And you have to increase your social links, but you don't have all day. You have an allotted time throughout the day. You have morning and evening, or afternoon and evening. And so it's pretty much two things you can do a day. So you can't just sit there and every day do the same thing and talk to the same people or increase your relationships. So there's like a social aspect and then like a dungeon RPG aspect, and there's a balance to it. You have to know when to do what part and when not to. And then depending on who you talk to, you hear these really cool stories and make these really good, interesting relationships with people either on your team or people just out in the wild. There's this old couple I friended. There was a little girl at a park whose parents were getting divorced. There was a guy who was dying of, I guess, cancer. There's an old man who became an alcoholic and left his family, etc. So you make all these social links. It's definitely a really great game, and if you play 4 or any of the other mainline, further on Persona games, you know exactly what you're getting into. This is the game that started out the social link aspect, and started out being in this format of like this day-night cycle where you can do certain things throughout the day. They also add lots of stuff to sort of give you variables. You can plant things and get items that way. You can go to the arcade, and you don't really play the video game, but it shows you playing a video game and it increases certain stats, or go to a movie. You also have 3 different statistics. I think it's 3 that are on your character, your main character. It's charm, I think it's courage and intelligence or something like that. And throughout the game, while you're doing certain tasks, you'll get points into those, and the point is to raise those up all the way so that you can do other things in the game that were not open to you had you been stupid or not strong enough. It's a really good game. I had a lot of fun with it. I don't know if I'd say it's as good as 4. People say 4 and 5 are the best ones, but I'm glad I played it. A lot of the game focuses on death, so prepare to be a little depressed, because throughout the game there are main characters and people who die in the game that sort of, they try to give you that whole aspect of the friends you make and the things you do in life really show who you are, and it's not always just about life and death. It's about like the moments you make. So it's an interesting title. It took me, I think, almost 40 hours, but by the end of the game I was sort of burnt out. It took a little too long in those last couple bosses and last like few levels. So that's my only real gripe about the game, is it sort of drags near the end for me. Some people are going to think that's crazy, but it did. I'm trying to think what else I wanted to say. It's a really good game, and once you get into it, you'll not be playing it. You'll say, I want to go back to it and talk to this person or do this or find this item or whatever, and fuse your personas, which are those demons you can resurrect, that you can summon, and make different ones. So there's that aspect too, almost like a Pokemon type of thing where you're collecting these demons to use in battle, and then you can mash them together and make new ones. So there's a lot of concepts and things throughout the game to kind of keep you busy. But by the end, I was sort of burnt out. If I would give this a grade, with a 10 being a perfect score, I'd give it like an 8. Besides it dragging at the end, I thought it was really good. I thought the story was good. I thought the characters were interesting, and I liked some of the concepts and stuff. So let me know, guys, if you've played Persona 3 Reload, which is a remaster of Persona 3 FES, I believe, or Portable. I don't know. There's a bunch of different variations of this game, but this is the newest one. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.